Hey guys, welcome back. So right now I'm going to be trying to put together a new video series. This is going to be called part 1. Hopefully there'll be part 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. I can really just keep going. There's so much material on this in regards to used cars with incorrect listings all over the place. So, really what kind of irritated me here, I was looking for a Nissan Juke, and I found this listing on eBay. And let me show you what really just sticks out to me. Now, this car did not sell. It had a reserve not met at $8,500. The car in the pictures looks great. Of course, if anybody knows here, this is not an SL. Let me show you right here. It's not an SL. So there is no leather. There's no navigation. It doesn't have a leather-wrapped steering wheel. This is basically a regular S model. There's no sunroof. This is as base model as they come. There's no Rockford Fosgate sound system. I mean, look at this. This is like a stereo out of a Nissan NV van. It's horrible. But that's what they put in. There's no electronic climate control, which this car is actually known for. So SL didn't sell. Says SL here again in the vehicle description. Says SL here again. So really that just kind of pissed me off, and I just kind of went on a hunt all over Craigslist to see what other vehicles I found that are pretty well advertised and cars that I would go look at. So let's start with this one. This is an okay listing in my opinion. The seller has accurately more or less described the car. Has pretty good pictures of the vehicle. Interior seems in good shape for a 2004 CR-V. Although they always hold up well, so that's really not an indicator of how good or bad this car is. I've almost never seen an interior that's kind of well, ripped apart in these old cars. The only thing that really sticks out to me is it doesn't mention how many miles, which you could assume it's enormous, probably over the 150,000 mile range at this point. Also, it says that the paint color is red, so this car is not red. It's nowhere close to red. Maybe one time it has been red, but I seriously doubt it. Otherwise, let's see. I mean, this might be a car worth seeing. Remote alarm. It's a whole bunch of heated good. It says heated good, new brake, AC good. So this is some kind of poorly composed item here. I actually was just on a hunt for Camrys for some reason. I usually pick a day of the car, look them up. So here we got another listing. It's a 07 Camry. It says very clean car, $5,600. So about the retail market price of this car. The only bad thing here I noticed, and there's a couple bad things, there's no mileage listed. So anytime you have a car with no miles, I do not recommend looking at it. As you could tell, the pictures the seller took purposely avoid the instrument cluster. So we could see that stuff is on the time, everything works that it seems to be working, but you can't make out any of the odometer. Look, this is even the cluster, and it's hid. Where's the odometer? Why can't I see the miles? Otherwise, the body looks to be very good for this year Camry. The lines look relatively straight. Of course, there's like a huge gap in the front of the hood here, but that's something you could excuse in a 10-year-old car, in my personal opinion. So let's see what it says. Front wheel drive at least. This one, that's good. At least it's a 4-cylinder. Oh, here we go, right here, V4. So great on gas. So V4, guys, it's a V4. For those of you that don't know, Camrys do not have a V4. A V is a reference to the way the cylinders are positioned in a vehicle. Usually a V6 or a V8, you have a motor that's basically in a V pattern. Kind of, you have the pistons going in a V pattern. In a 4-cylinder, generally because they're smaller, they're in an inline. That's why it's called an inline 4, or in other terms, I4. So this is not a V4. I could tell for a fact this guy knows, or woman, or let's call them an individual, right, to be fair for everybody here. For a fact they know nothing about cars. So this may not even be a real listing, although the pictures look pretty good. The car also doesn't have plates on it. So maybe these pictures were taken years ago. I would actually argue that these were pictures from years ago when the vehicle was first purchased, because the paint looks pretty good. Right now, it should have plates on it. Otherwise, well, they would have to store the vehicle somewhere on their private property. And generally, people don't do that if the car is in a running condition. If it's in a non-running condition, yeah, it will be stored on private property. So that one's this. Let's see what else I got here. We covered this one. We got this one right here. Another Camry LE, $7,500. 07 looks to be a pretty good listing. I don't see anything really that's kind of bogus to begin with. Does say 71,000 miles. You could see the seller made sure for a fact that we knew the car had low miles. And 99 degrees, we don't know if that's a recent image, but probably currently taken. Car seems to be in okay shape, although I do notice the seat right here has a lot of wear. So these Camry interiors last pretty good for a long amount of time. Their fabrics are not bad. This car should not have this much wear. Maybe it's possible that a person was relatively big that drove this car. But once again, you know, to find a 72,000 mile, 10-year-old Camry, that's relatively rare. Body's in normal shape. You can't really tell much just on that. So this could be a car worth seeing. And of course, the description here is also terrible. Absolutely nothing written. A good condition disc player. Thank you. We already know that. But this might be a car considering seeing. I would make an offer on it, maybe $6,000. At that rate, it would be good as long as there's nothing, you know, fundamentally mechanically wrong with the car. Okay, let's move on to another one. Here's a 2006 Acura TL, great condition, fully loaded, $4,400. Car has 149,000 miles. The rest of the stuff here seems pretty accurate. It's a 6-cylinder. Color is fine. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. Okay, so the car is in pretty good shape from the exterior. Looks fine. It has the original HID lights. The wheels are as they should be. Nothing weird with suspension. Doesn't look like there's any weird gaps anywhere on the body. Let's take a look at the back. So the car has plates on it at this point, although the seller blurred them out. Let's see, look inside. So, okay, we have the tech package in this one. We have the nav. This is personally the only TL I would look for. Make sure it has the nav. Otherwise, it's really kind of a boring car without that system. The seats, you have pretty normal wear. The Acura interiors, I've noticed, are not the best. The seats wear very quickly compared to even Toyotas and Hondas, in my honest opinion. So for $150K, I would say this is pretty much accurate mileage for the wear level of the interior of this car. Let's see what else. The back is pretty much fine. You know, not many people really ride around it. And the seller included a good amount of information. So claims he uses 93 octane and synthetic oil. That's good. Has some information here on brakes and tires and rotors. Inspection done a few weeks ago. So that's pretty good. Information here seems all accurate, actually. 150 all highway miles. Of course, we know it cannot be all highway miles. This car is located in Queens, New York, you know, which is the cesspit of congestion. I should know. I used to live there many years ago. But otherwise, it looks to be pretty good listing. I personally would not look for such an old Acura TL, especially if it has transmission problems, which 95% it has transmission problems. That's mainly the Achilles heel of this particular car. That's the reason why such nice, expensive luxury cars, when they're new, sell for peanuts when they're used. As you could tell, basic Camrys with lower miles sell for, you know, more than this, or even at the same rate as this. Okay, so here we go. I wanted to pick out at least one premium listing for a very nice car. This was actually the first Audi I clicked on. So this is a 07 Audi S8 V10 Quattro, which is as good as they get in the Audi A8 platform. Okay, so what do you notice looking at this listing? So 10 cylinders, 4-wheel drive, Quattro, that's what you want. Odometer, 93,000 miles. Relatively low for this car. These cars are driven hard usually. So let's click on a couple of the pictures. Pictures look fine. You can see it has the S-line right here. Wheels look original. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, it's in a very nice neighborhood. Oh, right here we notice no plates. No plates. Once again, we know that means this guy's probably some kind of dealer that took the car home, take pictures of it in front of somebody's nice house. Then he's going to drive it back, abuse it, you know, put regular gas in it, and then sell it to you. How terrific is that? But these cars are pretty much always in great shape. People take care of them as much as they can until they totally break down and can't afford them. I guess that's what I've noticed, at least in the years that I spent in the automotive industry myself. Here we go. Let's look at some of the other pictures here. Of course, it's fully loaded. Nothing to see. Right here. This sticks out to me like a sore thumb. So this guy included, or woman, you know, let's not get into the guy or woman thing here. Let's make sure we call them people. This individual included uh, 2 pages of a Carfax. I could see the one on the left here says it's a 2011 A8 Quattro, 4.2 liter V8. So this page on the left here with the price that he's claiming is $24,000 is not the vehicle. This is an 07 V10. So an 11 and an 07, not the same car. Clearly, you know, there's a lot of misdirection here just with this one little picture. So in fact, this might be the Carfax. It might be a clean vehicle with no damage, but that is not the market price of the car. Nowhere close. I'm not going to look it up right now because it really doesn't matter. This is a dealer, and this is the type of car that, yes, you have to go drive, look at. You might even need financing. You never know. A lot of times they advertise prices of cars. What that actually means is like with a $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 down payment, that'll be your financed amount. But there it is, guys. Just a look at some of the weird and I guess terrible listings here on eBay. I'm sorry, on Craigslist. I don't know why people do this. I would never contact anybody on any of these vehicles. It's really just a waste of their own time. But if you guys have any questions, you want me to look through a listing before you go check out a car, make a recommendation, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to take a look. I love looking at cars and I love making recommendations.